Hello everyone, this video is only going to be a PowerPoint presentation of me talking about Space Marine 2 and its bad game design. I'm not going to show any gameplay or any gameplay footage or any trailers or any images of Space Marine 2 at all because a lot of people have already done it. Only want to talk straight to the point of all the bad things in the game and bad gameplay design and why Space Marine 2 is a bad game. So let's get into this topic. First of all, I played the game. I only played the player versus environment, the PvE mode of the game. I also played the story mode, but that is a different topic. I played the player versus environment mode, and I only want to talk about the player versus environment mode, not the PvP mode. The PvP mode could be good, I don't know. I did not play it, so I can't talk about it. It is a different topic at all. Let's talk about the PvE mode, which is quite interesting. I played the mode on ruthless difficulty, the hardest difficulty. I played the mode on solo with bots using the Vanguard class, the maxed out Vanguard class with maxed weapons. And I did not even heal once. Sometimes in some maps I used the steam once or twice just to be safe. Other than that, I did not need to be get healed at all, and I did all of the map almost first time without losing any sweat or doing anything. The bots were sometimes dead for more than a minute and I just could solo it without losing any health. This game is really a piece of cake on the hardest difficulty, and it is extremely easy, and that is a problem. You do not really want to have a mode on the hardest difficulty which is so easy that you do not really need any teammates and you do not lose any health and are just killing every single enemy like that, and that is a problem. It is a gameplay flaw, it is a game mechanic flaw. It is nothing about difficulty, because even if they add an extra harder difficulty after the release and make the enemies harder to kill, it is not going to solve the fundamental problem of this game, which I am going to talk about and discuss about later in this video. And unless you address all the flaws of this game and the game mechanics, you are not going to increase the difficulty of this game. The game will always be cheesy and a piece of cake, and the game literally plays itself, which is why it is most of the time so easy. So the next point I want to make is that the preview version of the game is given to only the big YouTubers and the big influencers. Every single player otherwise are not allowed to. Like, it is a big shame for this kind of a developer, and it is a disgrace, and it is a bad move of this developer to only allow some YouTubers to showcase some gameplay on the hardest difficulty and talk positively about this game when the game is actually terrible and badly made. The big YouTubers who are showcasing the gameplay, they will never talk bad about the game. The big YouTubers and all of the YouTubers which I actually watched of Space Marine 2, they are only talking positively. There are no bad reviews about this game. I don't know, like, people are coping a lot about this game because they have nothing else to do in their life. They can only look up to Warhammer and Space Marine 2 and keep coping and keep dreaming how good this game is, because they have nothing else in their life. That is why they only talk about positively and cope a lot. But if you actually look at the facts and play the game on the hardest difficulty by yourself and complete it so easily without any skill or any gameplay, then you will know that the game is bad. And the big YouTubers, they will only talk positively, because if they talk negative stuff about the game, they are not going to get the preview versions of other developers and the same developer as well in the future. They will get dislikes a lot, they will get massive strikes from Warhammer communities and everything. I, on the other hand, I really do not care about any single person. I only care about the game. I only care about the gameplay, if it is good or not. If it is bad, I will tell it is bad. If it is good, I will tell it is good. That is all about me, and I am really straightforward. I do not lie and do not confuse or misguide people at all. I will only talk straight to the point. And this is why I really want to actually upload the video of me playing on the hardest difficulty of all the maps, but I cannot because they will just copyright strike my video and take down my video. So it is not helping at all, so I cannot show any gameplay. If you want to actually talk to me and see my gameplay, just contact me on Discord. I will put my Discord name in the comment section or in the video description. Otherwise, the comment section and the video description is kind of turned off. I really do not care about reading comments on the YouTube channel or whatever. I do not care about the dislikes either. I only care about gameplay and sharing knowledge and awareness with anyone who wants to know the truth and not cope around. I will upload the videos and the gameplay footage of me playing on the hardest difficulty once the game is out, and maybe it's 1 or 2 months after the game release I will upload that. So hopefully I will get to upload it, and if you want to see that, subscribe and write me on Discord and whatever. Like, I'm free to talk to anybody who is honest and actually want to know the truth and is actually honest, you know. So let's get into the positive things about this game first. Graphics, artwork, music is phenomenal. I will not lie, and I will not lie here. This is amazingly done, as usual. Like in all Warhammer games, the artwork and the music they put in, it's amazing. There's nothing negative about it. It's amazing. So if you're buying the game just for that, then good for you. The graphics are going to be amazing, albeit that you will need a 4090 or 4080 high-end graphics card to run it smoothly, because the graphics are just going to be really intense. And the artwork is nice, the music is nice. Like, I really enjoy playing the game, hearing the listening to the music and everything. The boss fight, the music and everything is amazing. You can watch a lot of YouTube videos about that and you will think that the same as I think. The skins and customization and every single thing about the customization in this game is amazingly done. 10 out of 10, no doubts, no negative points about that. Amazingly done, and there is no other game which has so in-depth customization, and you can customize your space marine as much as you like and in very detail, and every single player will have a different space marine to showcase and to show, and every single character, and if you play with pubs and your teammates or your friends, every single person would have their own space marine customized as per requirement and as per their liking, which is amazing, which is really nice, which is really rare to see in modern games. So it is amazingly done, and if you want to order this game for just for that, then good for you, then you are justified in doing so. Then there are boss fights, and boss fights are amazingly done. There are quite a bit of bugs in the boss fights. The bosses get stuck, and that is a problem. So apart from that, if they fix the bugs, the boss fights themselves are really nicely done. The boss actually feels like a boss. They are really aggressive, and you have to be really fast and skillful to dodge and do perfect dodges, which is another great addition in the game. The perfect dodge and the parry mechanic, it is really nicely done, which is really lacking in other games like Darktide or even in Helldivers. And I really like doing perfect dodges and parrying. It feels satisfying to exactly dodge at the same time the boss or the enemy is going to attack you, and the game rewards you for doing perfect dodges and perfect parry. So amazingly done. All of these points which I mentioned here for are all good positive points about the game. I'm just not talking negatively. Whatever is positive, I will just say it is positive. It is amazing. Now, coming to the rest of the things in this game, it is all negative, and this is why I will not order or play this game or buy this game, because everything else apart from these positive points is badly done. It is horrible, it is terrible, and there is lot more negative stuff in the game than positive, I find. This is why the game is bad. First of all, the glory kill mechanic. The glory kill is itself not bad. It was in Space Marine 1 as well. It is inherently not bad. If it is done well, it can be good as well. Like in Space Marine 1, when you do glory kill, you would rather gain health and not armor, and you would not be invulnerable in Space Marine 1. So you had to think about doing glory kills. You have to be conscious about glory killing or not. In Space Marine 2, every time you see an enemy in glory kill state, you can just glory kill because it is not giving you any negative things. The glory kill is always positive. You will always benefit from glory killing. It is never going to harm you in any way. You are not going to get hurt while in the glory kill animation, and it is insanely overpowered on top of it, which is why I did not have to heal at all. This was one of the reasons why I never had to heal in the game, because the glory killing is so immensely powerful in this game. So why is the glory killing so powerful? Because you are invulnerable. Every time you see an enemy in Space Marine 2 which is in glory kill state, you just press E and you are in glory kill animation, and you are chilling, because in those 2 or 3 seconds where the character is doing the glory killing and you get your testosterone bar filled up, you are just pausing the game and watching a movie there. The game is playing itself for you. You are not doing anything. You are just going to be invulnerable. And after you finish that glory kill animation, you are instantly going to regen the armor, the 2 bars of armor after you kill a Majoris enemy, and 3 bars when you kill an extremist enemy. I'm not wrong about that. I hope I'm not wrong about that extremist enemy. But regardless, you gain armor fast, and that is the only way to gain armor. And the game is forcing you to glory kill because you are going to lose your armor at some point of time in the game, and you have to do glory killing. You can't completely get rid of glory killing in this game because there is no other way to gain armor other than to glory kill and use bulwark shield, which again, if you have the bulwark class, but again, if you have a bulwark class, the armor regeneration is kind of slower. If you are glory killing, it is instant armor regeneration and it is much safer. If you are glory killing all the time, you do not even need bulwark, you do not need anything else. You are just going to keep gaining armor as long as possible, as long as there are Majoris or extremist enemies. Just keep glory killing and go in the chain reaction. It is pausing the game, you are not playing the game. It also auto targets by press of a button. Just press E and it will auto target. You do not have to aim at the enemy which is in glory kill state. It will just lock onto that enemy, so you do not have to be aware if the enemy is in glory kill state or not. You can just keep spamming the E button, and as soon as the game decides that the enemy is going to be in glory kill, you are just instantly going to lock onto that enemy and start the glory kill animation. And by doing that, you are just going to steal glory kills from a teammate which actually needs an armor bar or something. So let's assume that a teammate around you is kind of low health and lost all the armor, and they need armor by glory killing, but you are just going to spam the glory kill button, the E, and you are going to auto target and get all the glory kills and steal all the glory kills. So you are working against your teammates, and it is not a cooperative game when you have to consciously think about other teammates and not stealing kills from them. Like ideally you want to kill as much as possible and not think about killing in this game. Like why should you think about teammates and if they are getting kills or not? Ideally this mechanic is really badly done when you are just going to steal all the glory kills from your teammates. I don't know why would they do some things like that. Another point why glory kill is so insanely overpowered is because in the case of Tyranids, every time when you are getting surrounded by the fodder small Tyranids, all you do is basically go to a Majoris enemy, get them in glory kill state and glory kill them. And every single fodder enemy around you cannot attack you, cannot do damage to you because you are invulnerable while in glory killing. And after the glory kill is done, they are just going to all die by that AoE damage. And they have added AoE damage after the glory kill, which is insanely strong. I don't know why they would do that. Like this really needs to get removed from the game. The AoE damage after the glory kill shouldn't be a thing in the game because it makes the glory kill insanely overpowered. Even without it, it's already overpowered as it is. But adding this is again insanely overpowered. You really do not have to kill the fodder enemies at all. Do not get into the combat because all you do is just glory kill the Majoris enemies, and the fodder enemies will just die. I wish I could show all the gameplay, but unfortunately I cannot show anything. Video will just get taken down. So I just have to make a PowerPoint presentation. So the last point I want to make here about glory killing is the gun strike. The gun strike is a cool mechanic and it happens naturally in other games like Warhammer Darktide or World War Z, where you do basically a cool move where you push back an enemy and then you shoot a headshot on that enemy, and it's a cool move. Like some games like Warhammer Darktide has a special move on some guns like the bolt pistol, which has a special move of glory killing like the gun strike, but it is not a glory kill. You have to aim. In Space Marine 2 they made this gun strike mechanic auto aim glory kill. It is playing the game for you. It is playing the game itself. You do not have to aim while doing the gun strike. The game will aim for you by itself. It is kind of lame, it is cheesy, it is bad. I want this mechanic to be completely gone so that after I push back an enemy with my heavy chain sword, I actually need to aim at that enemy to headshot that enemy and kill that enemy and get armor. That is how more skillful game would look like. But if you add a mechanic and auto aiming, it's just bad for the game and bad for the gameplay. The game it's playing itself, you are not playing the game, it is not a game, it is a movie. and I can't call this a game if you add these all the mechanics in this game. So moving on to the next point, which is talking about the gameplay. I can't talk every single point, every single negative aspect of this game, because that will make the video way too long. So I'm just going to talk about the important points and important things about the gameplay problems and the flaws of this game. First of all, the game Space Marine 2 is just a World War Z aftermath reskin of Warhammer. If you basically remove all the textures of World War Z and put Warhammer, it will look exactly the same, apart from addition of boss fights and certain melee attacks and combos. Other than that, it is just World War Z, it is just playing the World War Z game. And the thing about Saber Interactive is that they design their games so similarly and with same flaws, and they do not really like rectify their flaws of the World War Z aftermath, and the same flaws I see again and again in all their games. So in World War Z and in Space Marine 2, there are like empty traverser areas, there are lack of enemies and bosses, there are long horde timers, like the enemies are not spawning at all. So when you move from one spot to another, there are like traverser areas where you are just moving, and there are no enemies. Like the Tyranids are either sleeping or biting some, like feasting upon some Cadian dead body, and they're just chilling around. Like you just arrive at there and just obliterate them. It takes no effort. Like instead, that traverser areas after you have done fighting the swarm should be filled with enemies. There should be enemies and majorities and extremis enemies spawning constantly. There should be bosses spawning constantly every 30 seconds, and there should be hordes spawning every 10 seconds. Like right now, after when I played the game on the hardest difficulty, I was just playing a walking simulator. After I finished the swamp part, I would just kill a couple of majorities enemies and then move on. Like the enemies do not stand any chance, even if I don't use a lot of overpowered stuff, because they will just get killed if they are just chilling around and not aggroing on me. Other games like Warhammer Dark Tide does this better, because in Warhammer Dark Tide you will never find on the hardest difficulty that you are chilling around with no enemies and no hordes coming around. There will always be enemies to fight, and you can't have a game like this in Space Marine 2 or in World War Z, where there are like empty areas where there are no enemies, no bosses, and you are just walking from one point to another without any combat. You can't allow that to happen in a game which is heavily focused on combat, and you want this to be a combat based game rather than a walking simulator. I really do not want to play this as a walking simulator, and it feels really bad that the game is a walking simulator. This is kind of better when you play the Chaos Marine maps. The Chaos Marine maps are much better because the Chaos Marine are more aggressive than the Tyranids. They will just spawn around you, and as soon as they spawn, they just start shooting you, which is much better than Tyranids, which are just roaming around chilling. Tyrannid fights are much more boring than Chaos Marine fights. Chaos Marines are much more interesting, they are harder than Tyrannids. So that is the thing. They should really make the Tyrannids more aggressive and spawn more Tyrannids so that it becomes a challenge. The game should be a challenge and not a walk in a park on the hardest difficulty where you do not need any teammates. And the next point I'm going to make about is that ability regeneration. So you have different abilities. Every class has a different ability, like cloak or banner or the hook or auspex scan. So there are different abilities, and these abilities are regenerating not by kill but by time. So you could just chill out and hang around in some part of the maps where there are no enemies at every point and get all your regeneration to the max, and it doesn't really matter. And you will get all the regeneration done if you just chill around, and even if there are no enemies, and because of these long horde timers, you will always be regenerating your abilities, which is really bad. Like your ability should be regenerating based on kills and not on time, especially if you do not have enemies. It wouldn't be a problem if this is a time based regeneration. If there were already a lot of enemies to fight, then you are regenerating abilities anyway, then it doesn't matter if you make it kill or time based. But if there are like no enemies to fight, and on top of that you are making the ability regeneration on time, which means that you are just chilling around regenerating abilities for free without actually engaging in any combat. This is the case on the hardest difficulty of this game, and it is looking bad and not fun at all. It's boring to play this game. The other problem I have about the Tyranids in this game is the same problem which I had in World War Z, which is that the Horde Tyranids have less health than the stray Tyranids, which means that I will make a separate video on talking about this. But to briefly explain, when the Tyrannid hordes start coming, before they climb up and they become strays and start attacking you, they will have less health, so you could just kill all of them easily, really fast. Even the Cadians will be able to kill all the Tyrannids on the hardest difficulty with their last guns, and you are just going to kill all of the Horde Tyrannids before they get the chance to come up and become stray Tyrannids. So they haven't fixed this issue which they had in World War Z. They haven't fixed this in Space Marine 2, and this is really bad mechanic, and I don't know why wouldn't they fix this issue. I don't like this. This should be get solved, and they are not going to solve it. It is a bad game. Again, next point is chill enemies. They are not aggressive. It is bad for Tyranids. Like, they are really chill and not aggressive at all. The Chaos Marines are better, which I already talked about. Chaos Marine fights, and the Chaos Marine bosses are much better than Tyranids. They are much more aggressive. Invisibility, and there is too much invisibility and invulnerability in this game. There is an entire class, sniper class, based on invisibility. When you are invisible and invulnerable in the game, you are not playing the game, you are just pausing the game. Ideally, you want the game to be in constant combat. You want yourself to be in constant combat and not going invisible and invulnerable. There are a lot of issues with these abilities. There are a lot of invulnerability in glory killing. There is invulnerability in perks as well, and this entire thing is bad. I've talked a lot of stuff about this, and I've made a lot of videos why this is bad. I'm not going to repeat all of that, but it is bad and it shouldn't be in this game at all. Other thing is, like, there are strong guns, like the Melta gun is way too strong. It needs to be nerfed, because right now if you use Melta gun on the maxed level, it has 10 magazine ammo and 32 reserved ammo at the max, and around that, I don't know the exact amount right now. I don't remember on the back of my head, but it is a lot, such that you can just keep shooting all the Melta gun and blasting every single Tyrannid and Chaos Marine to oblivion just by using this gun, and every single enemy which is going to come near to you is going to get melted by this gun on the hardest difficulty if you use the maximum power of this gun. And there are certain sections where there are ammo boxes which have infinite ammo in them, so you can just camp on those ammo boxes and keep shooting this Melta gun, and you will never die because it is way too strong. You do not have to melee at all. You do not have to play in combat at all. Like, just keep spamming left click, and it is way too strong. Like, it is killing the entire hordes of Tyranids really fast. It should be nerfed such that its ammo count and its range is really low. It is only doing its damage is high, but its range and ammo capacity is really low, and its fire rate is really low such that you can't spam the gun. It is way too strong. Like, I don't know why wouldn't you use the Melta gun always. It's way too strong. Next point is the contested health mechanic. I will briefly explain what I mean by contested health mechanic in the game. So every time you lose health in this game, every time you take damage in this game, the red bar on the top left hand side of your screen is going to become white bar by the amount of health damage you take, and that white bar means that you can regain all of that white bar and even more if you kill enough amount of enemies in a short time after you take the damage, which is what the contested health mechanic is in the game. I do not like this mechanic because every time I get the white health, I would just shoot my Melta gun and gain all of that health back, which I have lost in short amount of time, which means that I have infinite health as long as I have ammo and Melta gun with me. I had infinite health and I just keep killing enemies as long as I have Melta gun, and as long as there are enemies. They do not have to be majoris or extremists, they can be fodder enemies, and the Melta gun is too strong to kill all the fodders, tiny Tyranids really fast, like all of them. Like, they just get melted to oblivion. and you gain all of the lost health instantly back. And I really don't understand if this is a bug or this is something which is unexplained. Maybe, hopefully it's a bug, or if this is gets nerfed or something, because right now this contested health mechanics is way too strong, combined with meta gun and all the other things in this game like the glory killing. And that's about it. Like, that's all the points, the major flaws of this game which I wanted to tell. And I've talked couple of points positively about this game, but majority of the things about this game is negative. It is badly done. It's a movie, it's not a game. A game is where there is combat and you are constantly in combat and the enemies have a chance to fight you. There is always like a fair fight with the enemies in a PvE mode as well, and this is not the case in Space Marine 2, which is why this is a bad game. And other modes are like story mode, which I don't know who cares about story mode. Like, you would just play that once or twice and be done with that. The PvP mode could be better than PvE mode, but I really do not have any idea about the PvP mode, so I can't really talk about it. Hopefully it's better and it is worth for the money, but the videos I've watched on YouTube and I myself play on the hardest difficulty, I really do not think the PvE mode of this game is good enough. When you can just solo the map without needing any teammates on the hardest difficulty by yourself using all the broken stuff in the game. That is what it is about the game. And Space Saber Interactive, with all their chief cooperative officers like Oliver Hollis, they do not really know how to design a game. They do not really know how to make the game skillful and attractive to the better players. They will just keep making these bad games. And other than that, it is not a game at all. It's just a movie. Just take it as a Warhammer 40k movie than a game. And if you take it as a movie, is alright. Maybe buy a movie for 70 euros or 70 bucks. I really do not want to buy a movie for 70 bucks. I really don't think so. But that's what the game is designed to be, like a movie and not a game. I really want to have this game as a game where I play the game and not the game itself playing itself. Like, it's really badly done. That's going to be it for this video, and I hope to upload the video sometime in the future when the Space Marine 2 the game actually releases. But other than that, I'll see you guys later and have fun, take care, whatever. See you guys later.